My name is Dr. Fernando Branch, principal at Robert F. Smith STEAM Academy. I'm also the CEO of the Colorado Men of Color Collaborative. I've been a lifelong educator for about 25 years now, and just so happened to fall into the nonprofit space because I became really passionate about the mental health and social mobility of men of color, especially Black men. So something about myself, I'm an avid outdoorsman, beekeeper, and just really love to teach and to coach and to support. I believe in the value of it takes a village and each one teach one. I'm a lifelong learner. I think that seeing the state of education as a whole, as well as public education, I had very humble beginnings. That foundation, and in some cases their lack thereof, gave me a real awakening at a very early age to see the advantage of the haves and the have-nots. I think somewhere right around middle school, I made a commitment to myself that I was not only going to seek out the absolute best education I possibly could after recognizing and seeing that not due to the environment around me, but just due to the system and the community that I was in and the school that I was at, that I wasn't getting the education that the kids on the other side of the tracks were getting. When I realized that level of inequity exists, I don't know, there was a fuel, a passion that was just developed in my belly that told me that nobody's going to do this but me. Nobody's going to be able to determine my level of success but me. And nobody's going to, regardless of what amplitude test you take that tells you you're going to be a truck driver, that's going to be your future. Shout out to truck drivers. My dad a truck driver. But I was in a stage where I realized I needed to control my own fate and destiny. And that really what pursued me to go into education, now in the K-16 as well in the nonprofit space. I define personal and professional success as a balancing act. If I'm not balanced as a dad first, as a husband first, as a member of my community, then I can't be balanced in the workplace with the initiatives of turning schools around or changing outcomes for students and schools in the community. I think that's extremely important. It's important that you not only find that balance, but you articulate that. I think it goes back again to the mental health piece, the social emotional learning piece of being able to know how to say no, being able to walk away with grace and dignity, right? But also being able to hold others accountable and to have boundaries, right? Being able to book in what's possible and what's not possible and what you're not willing to make exceptions for. I think that's absolutely essential. For me personally, I find that I have balance when I'm balanced both at home, which gives me balance to show up as my absolute best self when I'm at work. I would say the biggest misconception is that kids can't learn, right? Or school in some ways different than what it was 5, 10, 15, 30, 50, or 100 years ago. I think times change, and as a result of time changing, people have to evolve, and therefore schools have to evolve, just like an organization or a business would have to evolve. Our kids are the most resilient that they've ever been in society, and I think I've experienced this year the fact that they're absolutely brilliant in how they process information, but also what they're capable of doing with that information. I think the challenge that exists right now in our American K-12 system is how are we adapting and catching up to where our students are coming in with a very baseline fundamental foundation around technology use, around the incorporation of industries, for example, solar and AI and engineering. How are we really meeting our students where they are, but giving them the life skills, but also the communication skills, as well as the social skills to navigate an ever-changing world, because they're more resilient than they've ever been in society. And I think we have to do a better job of building institutions and systems that take that uniqueness that is inherently American, but also inherently urban students, especially, to really cultivate that so that our students reach their absolute full potential and reach their real genius, to be honest with you. When I was working on my doctorate about 2 years ago, I found myself researching the relationship between law enforcement and African American males. And during this time was George Floyd incident and the Aubrey incident. It was just a very dark place for me, and I transitioned during this time as well. And I'm the most energetic, hype person you would ever know, but I felt into a state of depression, and I didn't realize it until my daughter said, "Dad, something's not right. You should go get checked out." I was lucky that I had an African American doctor that I could go to, and I say, "Hey, doc, I don't know what's going on, but something is not right with me in here, right?" And after some tests, and he said, "Branch, I think you're dealing with depression." I was like, "Nah, I don't think so." Man, he was right. This is during COVID, extreme extrovert, the isolation compounded with all these other things that I was experiencing put me in a state of depression. Gave me these little pills. I don't know what they were, but I took one and I was like, nope, that's not the answer. I came out of that and I started asking other men in my social group, hey, how's your mental health? How are you doing? And at first, they were looking at me like, yo, dude, are you serious? There weren't any organizations or there weren't any people that I knew who were tackling preventative mental health for men who looked like me. From that experience, though, I created the Colorado Men of Color Collaborative, which is CMOC, specializing in supporting men through mental health challenges, providing them with SEL strategies, professional development, as well as opportunity to increase their social mobility and career skills in a lot of industries. When I was in college, I had the opportunity of seeing Willie Jolly. He came to University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. Shout out to HBCUs. And he said this. He said, it only takes a minute, only 60 seconds, and enforced upon you. Can't refuse it. Then seek it, then choose it, but it's up to you to use it. You will suffer if you lose it. Give account if you abuse it, for it's only just a minute, but an eternity is in it. When I saw Mr. Jolly say that, and I think later years I saw Les Brown might even say that, it taught me the value of time and the investment of time and how precious it is and what happens when you don't capitalize on it. I would just like to leave with this particular group. Don't worry about your current position. Be comfortable with where your feet lie and just start with a plan. And it takes one step, right? And that one step could equal 1 second, right? Which turns into minutes and hours and then days and then weeks and then months and then years to get you back on your path for success. So the potential is always in you. And I hope that little bit of feedback allows you to be able to keep your day and avoid those invitations that frequently come that get us off track. It's well within our power to control our own fate and destiny. And that's the great thing about living is going through the experience and coming out of it a better and stronger person. I hope you enjoyed it.